on a strictly strategic level, what do you think we can do? What do you think it would take for human beings to start valuing human beings again? I mean, will it take something like a mass death? Because the way I look at it is, no matter where you look, you have social media, you look on social media, like everybody, for the most part, the people who aren't really, their eyes aren't really open to the bigger problems of the earth.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
What can we do? Because I've done a lot, I'm really at a change in my life where I'm thinking, like, you know what, I'm ready to do, like, I'm ready to give up my job at this point to be a teacher, because that's my only, I don't see how else I can help. I'm very active in my community. I preach love. I preach respect. With that, not in a religious way, but as a human respect way. And the only thing I can think of is, there's a lot of younger parents these days. With being younger parents, you have less developed thoughts. Therefore, you encourage your children to do things that are outside their age bracket. And then they take that into the world, which then just dominoes.
Right.
And so the teacher is where I think that we can start instilling more value, more, more of the value of human life and how to treat each other, and even learning. You've been fighting this battle for a while, so that's why I was wondering what you think.
I applaud that. I mean, I really applaud that. I mean, that's really amazing of you. And I think really what you're doing is exactly what needs to happen. I mean, I think a first step is for people to take a step back from the life that they're living right now and really ask themselves, like, am I happy living in this society as it is right now? I think that's the first step, because a lot of people would answer that no. A lot of people would answer that question like, man, I'm just running my ass off. I'm treading water. I'm just keeping ahead of the sheriff. I'm just, I'm just out of the red, or I'm in the red and it's not working. And I'm dulling my feelings with alcohol and drugs, and I'm on antidepressants, and this fucking sucks, So, and I do this check with myself a lot, believe it or not, because I know that there's so much power in our society just from all the messages we receive every day, everything that we're around, everything that we see on TV. It's always geared towards get the new thing, get the shinier thing, get more,
Consume.
Yeah, and as soon as I fall into that trap, I get anxious. I start to not feel good, And it's I don't think anybody. I mean, I actually have friends that are really immune to it, and I find it fascinating. I think it's great, But but I think it's a hard thing to be immune to. So I think it's important for people to look at their lives and then say, well, if I'm not happy because I keep just trying to get this stuff, what's the alternative, I see a lot of people, I think, taking those steps. A lot of people simplifying their lives. Like there's this movement now where of people who are minimalists, and I look at those people and I hear a lot of them being really happy, and I think that we actually there's a movement within our culture in a way that there's never been in my lifetime that I've noticed in that direction, and it's anybody from like 30 years, maybe mid-30s down, and I see it a lot stronger in people like in their 20s, And so I actually am pretty optimistic, believe it or not. Like I think that we're already seeing a huge backlash against Trump because in the values that he stands for. When we were on tour in January of 2017, and there were so many people that came up to me saying things like, I was sleepwalking, I wasn't paying attention, I was apathetic, I didn't care, but now I do. And, I think Donald Trump was a big wake-up call for a lot of people, and I think that we're seeing a lot of debates take place as a result of his presidency that needed to take place. Debates about sexual harassment, sexism, racism, and things that we've never really talked openly and honestly in a large way in our society. They're things that have been kind of swept under the rug in a lot of ways, things that we just haven't faced or things that people have denied exist. Those things were around before Donald Trump. He's helped bring them to the surface. I mean, Donald Trump is not the disease. Donald Trump is a symptom. Mm-hmm. So to answer your question, I mean, it's not what's going to happen as like there's going to be a leader and they're going to take us all to the promised land and things are going to be better. But unfortunately, it's harder than that, and the work is harder, and it comes down to how you approach things on a personal level, and that's why I believe what you are talking about and what you're doing, I think, is really admirable, and I think it's spot on because it's you've made a decision to rework your life to have an impact on other people's lives, and that's really what it's going to take. I don't think it's reasonable to think that every single person can know about every single injustice in the world and everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's impossible. But I do think that when we look around our communities and and sometimes beyond, we can have an impact on the planet, and it just happens one person at a time, and I mean, I've been involved and been around activism, I should say, more so than been involved in it. But I've been around it long enough to see that change isn't something that just comes overnight. You identify a problem and then boom, it's gone. It's quite often a struggle, and it's a war. And in that war, there's a lot of battles. And a lot of those battles are lost, but over time, if you stick to it, a lot, battles can be won. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. My hope for people is that they will at least just pay attention enough that we don't repeat this kind of Donald Trump presidency again. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest about it. There are problems with Bush and there are problems with Obama, and Trump again is just a symptom of problems that we already had in our society. So I don't know if that gives you much of an answer.
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does. And
okay.
I like that.